So if you find yourself scratching your head thinking, how can you attract people into your business without using paid for ads? This is my Kajabi personal trainer organic client attraction system. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So I'm going to go behind the scenes and just show you the 4 steps that I've put in place to attract people into my business that helped me to attract in over 197 leads and generate £7,020 worth of business. And I did this in an automated way. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see is that I use this automated system. I'm going to go through step by step to attract people into my high ticket fat loss program. That's what I was trying to get people to come towards. So I'm going to show you first of all the system from a 10,000 foot viewpoint. There are 4 parts to it, as you can see, and I'm going to go through each of these individual steps so you see how it all comes together as a system, and most importantly how it all comes together in an automated way so you can set it up and then you can pretty much leave it. Now when I say leave it, you still have to feed it content. I'll explain how that works, but it can be set up and left to run in the background for weeks or months if you wanted to. That's how effective this system is. Now before I dive into each of these elements in detail, or a little bit more detail, it's worth saying that there is the option of paid for ads. Now most coaches out there I think would agree with this, and that is you're far better off starting off with an organic system because it gives you an opportunity to test your message, test your sales skills in terms of onboarding people, and also test your program, whether that's online or offline, doesn't really matter. Once you've dialed in those 3 elements, then you can go for the paid for advertising if you want to. But there are lots of people out there that are quite successfully doing just purely organic marketing and bringing in some significant revenue. So the choice is yours at that point, but just spending money on ads alone and expecting people to convert into clients maybe isn't the best strategy out there. And one other point to bear in mind is the cost per lead that you get in. Now a lead for me is when somebody enters their name and their email. So if I were doing the system that I'm about to show you to bring in 197 leads over a period of just shy of 4 months, which I know is not a massive number of people, but it's still a significant number of people coming in, that could have cost me anywhere between £5 and £10 per lead coming in. Now I know that some coaches might say, oh well, actually it would cost you way less than that. I'm just going to work on that as an average that I have heard people say. So if we say 197, let's just round that up to 200 just for easy maths. So 200 leads coming in at £5 a pop, that's £1,000. £1,000 over say 4 months, that's 250 quid I would have spent on ads. If I had an ads manager who was running all of this for me, that'd be another £500 on top of that. So we're looking at 750 quid per month times by 4. If I was at the higher end, £10 per lead, 200 leads coming in, that's going to be £2,000 divided by 4, which is 500 quid a month, plus my ads manager. So we're now up to £1,000 a month. So you've got to kind of work out where you are in your business, whether you've got that sort of budget to be able to spend on that sort of advertising, or whether or not you want to go down this organic route. But I would also say going down the organic route is slower, without a shadow of a doubt. It is slower, and you have to learn certain skills to set this thing up properly. But once it's set up, you can then just feed it the information. So let's dive into what these 4 steps are then. I'm going to kick off with step number 1, which is creating a lead magnet. Now for me, my lead magnet is an online quiz. I found this to be the most effective lead magnet out of all the lead magnets I've tried recipes, I've done exercise plans, I've done webinars, which I've now included as part of my funnel. I've done a lot of different things. I have found that quizzes are by far the most effective. And the reason I think they're most effective is because a quiz is about the individual, and people are more interested in themselves than they are about anybody else on the planet, basically. So this worked really well for me. I use an organization called Score App. You can Google them, and you can set your quiz up in a relatively short space of time. So what happens is people get to this page and they simply click on this button here. They enter their name, their email, and then they complete a quiz that takes them less than 3 minutes. And that's important to understand. Any quiz you're going to put together, if you are going to go down the quiz route, it needs to be pretty quick. If it takes too long, people won't do it. So my quiz takes less than 3 minutes for people to complete. So that's step number one. Get your lead magnet set up. I say in my case, it's a quiz aimed at weight loss. Yours might be a different sector, but have something that people can actually get benefit from. So that's step number one, your lead magnet. As I say, mine's a quiz. Let's go on to step number two. Step number two is to set up an email nurture sequence. Now, this needs to be set up in a way that's automated. So once they've entered the details to do my quiz and they've completed all of that, they then go onto my database. Once they're on my database, I've set up five initial emails that will go out every few days. So it's a hands-off approach. The quiz is hands-off once it's set up. These emails are hands-off as well. So they've done the quiz, they're now on the email list, and they're getting these emails every few days. Now, within the emails, first one is just, I think I just changed it recently, where I invite them to watch some additional training if they wish. And then subsequent emails that they get are just more value with subtle calls to action to give me a call if they want to arrange a consultation. So that's step number two, having your email set up. Step number three is how do you get traffic to, let's just go back a bit. How do you get traffic to this score app? Well, the way that I do it is I use YouTube. And YouTube I found to be quite effective for me personally. Yes, there's a bit of a learning curve, but then there is with any platform if you think about it, whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, they all have a learning curve. I found that YouTube is effective for me because it's a fast way for people to actually see me, hear me, and decide whether or not they actually think they like me and they trust me. So I'll create a YouTube video. That video will go out, and within that video that I've put out there will be at some point throughout the video a call to action for the client to visit my website to get that quiz or access that quiz and then get onto my database. It works as simple as that. But the other beauty of YouTube is I can create my videos, I can schedule them, and they can go out on an automatic basis. So I can schedule a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance, 2 months in advance. It's entirely up to me. Sometimes I get ahead by 3 or 4 weeks. Sometimes I'm only ahead by a week or so. But the beauty is you can set this up. So again, it's automated. And that's the thing I want to really get home to you as well, is a lot of this can be set up in a way where it's automated and you can step away and be doing other things. So you don't feel as if you are continually having to be on your PC or doing things on social media. Now, YouTube, it's kind of like not really a social media platform. It's more of a search engine, second behind only Google. And I say I quite like it because for me personally, I find the clients that I attract into my business, I don't know, they just seem to be better quality. Maybe because they've taken the time to sit and listen. Maybe because they've gone searching for me as opposed to me doing disruption marketing, which is me doing ads where I'm trying to get in front of their eyeballs and disrupt their day. They may be on Facebook scrolling, just doom scrolling, and suddenly an ad comes up and they may or may not go to whatever it is I'm trying to direct them to. But that's more disruption, whereas YouTube, they're actively searching for something. And if they find me and I've got the right answers for what they're looking for, then I think that's a more healthy relationship and it's got more potential for them to become a client. So that's step number three. And then step number four is basically where I house my emails. I house my emails and indeed my online course and my YouTube channel, website on a platform called Kajabi. So these emails are on Kajabi. I'll just go back to where they were. So all of this is set up within the Kajabi platform. So once people sign up, they get access. And then just to draw this to its full conclusion, once they've had a consultation with me, they then say, yeah, I want to work with you, Eric. They then get access to my online training program, which I say is housed on Kajabi. So that, let's just go back to that other slide. That's the whole system in its entirety, how it all comes together. And I would encourage you to have a look at it. And maybe you don't want to follow this exactly as I've laid it out. Maybe you want to use elements of it. But this is a complete system that involves tactics, strategy, and good marketing principles. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to comment below. Let me know what your questions are. If I can help you out, then feel free to reach out to me. Until next time, take care. Bye for now.